Get ready to dive into the jaw-dropping world of ultra-rare Lincoln pennies, because some of these humble 1-cent coins could make you a millionaire overnight. That's right, hiding in old jars, dusty drawers, or forgotten coin albums might be a penny worth $100,000, $500,000 or even over $2 million. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 most valuable Lincoln pennies ever discovered. It's a 1982 Lincoln penny. Innocent, ordinary, or is it? What if I told you that this tiny coin, often dismissed as pocket change, could actually be worth a life-changing sum of money? The year 1982 wasn't just any year in the world of American coins, it was a revolutionary one. For nearly 170 years, the U.S. penny was primarily made of copper. But in 1982, due to rising copper prices and economic concerns, the U.S. Mint made a historic change. Right arrow, the composition of the Lincoln penny was altered from 95% copper and 5% zinc to a cheaper, copper-plated zinc core. This cost-saving move reduced the intrinsic value of the penny and marked the beginning of the end for solid copper cents. The staggering value, $230,000 to $300,000. The verified 1982 D copper small date penny has fetched offers exceeding $230,000, and experts believe a perfect specimen could reach $265,000 in private sales, and potentially $300,000 or more in an open auction. That's more than the value of some luxury cars, down payments on houses, even small businesses. Reasons for the high value: rarity, only 2 certified examples known. Historic error, a composition mistake during a year of transition. Demand, copper Lincoln pennies already attract collectors, this one is the holy grail. Mint mark mix-up, a Denver mint mark combined with a copper planchet makes it unique. Collectors, dealers, and investors all know one thing: coins like this are once-in-a-lifetime discoveries. Magnifying glass tilted left, how to identify the $300,000 penny. Step-by-step close-up of identifying features with arrows and highlights. Key features of the 1982 D copper small date penny. Should weigh approximately 3.10 grams. Use a precise digital scale. Zinc pennies weigh around 2.5 grams. Look for the D mint mark below the year. Must be a small date. In the small date version, the 2 and 8 are level, and the 8 appears more delicate. The top of the 2 is higher than the 1. A copper penny has a rich red or brown tone. Zinc pennies often appear grayer or have a slightly different luster. Even if it seems legit, always send it to a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC. That's the only way to confirm whether it's the real $300,000 deal. Especially high-grade copper examples, hoping to strike it rich if another legitimate error surfaces. And make no mistake, if a third example ever appears, especially in MS 65 or higher condition, it could set a record-breaking price. Stop what you're doing and check your pocket change, because a single Lincoln penny from 1978, yes, just one little brown coin with a tiny D under the date, could make you up to $270,000 richer overnight. Sounds impossible? Think again. The Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. First minted in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it became the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Since then, it has become the most widely circulated coin in American history, with billions minted every year. Now let's get one thing straight: most 1978 D pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. But every so often, one extraordinary coin defies the odds. And that's what happened when a rare 1978 D Lincoln penny error surfaced in an auction and stunned the numismatic community with its eye-watering valuation, over $250,000. Money bag, yes, you heard that right. From 1 cent, to nearly $250,000. So what made this seemingly ordinary coin command such a massive price? It all boils down to a jaw-dropping mint error so rare, it's been seen fewer than a handful of times. Some experts even argue there might be only one known specimen. Before we get into the specifics of the 1978 D error, let's quickly explain what makes a coin so valuable. In coin collecting, it's all about rarity, condition, and demand. But above all, the type of error plays a massive role. Here are some of the most sought-after mint errors. Off-center strike, where the coin design is misaligned. Double Die Obverse, DDO, where elements of the coin's face appear duplicated. Broad strike, when a coin is struck without the retaining collar, making it spread out. Wrong planchet errors, where a coin is struck on a blank meant for another denomination. And with current demand and inflation, experts speculate the next one could easily sell for $270,000 or more. So where do coins like this actually sell for over $250,000? The biggest sales happen at major auctions, such as heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers galleries, Gray collections, legend rare coin auctions. But that's not all. Rare coin brokers, private collectors, and high-end investors are always on the hunt for ultra-rare mint errors like this one. Some even work through exclusive dealers who match rare coins with millionaires or museums. In fact, one private sale of a similar error coin reportedly reached $270,000, though it was never disclosed publicly due to a non-disclosure agreement between buyer and seller. Imagine finding a penny in your loose change that's worth more than a Ferrari, or even more than a house. A coin that looks completely ordinary, yet it hides a secret so rare, so extraordinary, that collectors would pay up to $350,000 just to have it in their possession. That's right, today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1983 copper Lincoln penny error. Before we uncover the rare 1983 copper error, let's rewind and understand the story behind the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, is one of America's most iconic coins. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln. From 1909 to 1982, these pennies were made of 95% copper. But copper prices were rising fast, and by 1982, it was costing the mint more to produce pennies than they were worth. So, a major change happened in mid-1982. The U.S. Mint began making pennies out of zinc with a thin copper plating, reducing production costs. 1983 dated Lincoln pennies. This created what collectors call a wrong Planchet error. An off-metal strike where the coin is made from a metal that doesn't belong. And here's where it gets wild. These 1983 copper pennies are extraordinarily rare. Only a few examples have been authenticated. And because they're not supposed to exist, each verified coin is worth a fortune. Up to $250,000, $290,000, and even $350,000 at auction. Classical Building Values and Record Auction Sales. In 2013, a 1983 copper Lincoln penny graded by PCGS as MS62 Brown was sold for $23,500. And that wasn't even a red or high-grade coin. Fast forward to today, the market for error coins has exploded. With heightened demand, increased awareness, and fewer examples available, the estimated value of a 1983 copper penny in top condition has soared. Collectors are now paying $250,000 for high-end uncirculated examples, up to $290,000 for red/brown certified pieces, and it's rumored that a private collector paid over $350,000 for an MS64 red specimen in a private sale. How to identify the 1983 copper penny. A regular 1983 zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. A 1983 copper error penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If your 1983 penny weighs around 3.1 grams, you may be holding a rare error. Most known copper errors from 1983 have no mint mark, meaning they were minted in. However, any 1983 Denver copper pennies would be even rarer. Send your coin to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Real stories of discovery. One collector found a 1983 copper penny in a junk box at a coin shop, bought for less than 5 cents. After testing and certification, it sold for over $20,000. A 1968 Lincoln penny, the kind that most people would overlook in spare change, has become one of the most unexpected jackpot coins in numismatic history. But only if it carries one of the rarest and most spectacular mint errors ever discovered. Let's start with the basics. The 1968 Lincoln penny is a 1-cent coin struck at the Denver Mint, which is indicated by the small D mint mark below the year. Mintage: over 2.9 billion pennies were produced at Denver in 1968. Composition: 95% copper, 5% zinc. Weight: 3.11 grams. Designer: Victor David Brenner. The auction explosion: from pocket change to $160,000, only a small number of 1968 Lincoln pennies with this dramatic DDO error are known to exist. And when they appear, collectors go wild. Moneybag. In one of the most surprising moments in modern numismatic history, a pristine example of this error, in MS65 red condition, sold at public auction for a jaw-dropping $125,000. Collision. Later, another high-grade specimen crossed the block for an even higher amount, $137,000. But the crown jewel of them all, a full red, nearly flawless MS66 plus DDO 1968 Lincoln penny shattered expectations when it reportedly changed hands in a private deal for over $160,000. This kind of explosive value growth is extraordinary in the world of small coins. We're talking about a penny, yes, 1 cent, that outpaced the value of luxury watches, sports cars, and even real estate in certain areas. Why is this coin so valuable? Rarity. Only a tiny number are confirmed to exist, and very few are in mint state condition. This creates intense scarcity. Visual impact. The doubling is strong and clear. Collectors love bold errors that are obvious without a microscope. Historical significance. 1968 was a transitional year. It marked the return of the mint marks, which were removed from coins in 1965 to 1967. That alone makes 1968 coins a focal point for collectors. Market demand. DDO coins have a huge fan base. Just look at the 1955 DDO, 1969 SDDO, and 1972 DDO. They're legendary. The 1968 D now joins that elite club. Grade sensitivity. A 1968 D DDO in MS65 red is rare. But in MS66 or higher, that's unicorn territory. And when unicorns show up, the money follows. Other 1968 D errors worth looking for. While the DDO is the star of the show, the 1968 D also has other valuable errors, including off-center strikes worth up to $100 to $500. Clipped planchets fetching $50 to $250. Die cracks and cuts depending on severity. Struck on dime planchet, ultra rare and worth thousands. Wrong metal planchet errors, e.g. struck on a foreign coin, some valued over $10,000. But none compared to the big one, the true Double Die Obverse. We're talking about the 1976 D Lincoln penny with a rare and extraordinary mint error. It's one of the most stunning and valuable mistakes in U.S. coinage, and it has changed lives for those lucky enough to find it. The 1976 D Lincoln penny was struck during a historic year in America, the bicentennial, celebrating 200 years since the Declaration of Independence. But here's something surprising: unlike the quarter, half dollar, and dollar, the Lincoln penny didn't receive a special bicentennial design. The mint decided to keep the Lincoln Memorial reverse, despite the patriotic fervor sweeping the country. With so many coins struck, you might assume they're all worthless beyond a cent. But as you'll see next, some were born with a catastrophic and valuable minting mistake. Direct hit the answer: a wrong planchet error. Brain, what is a wrong planchet error? In the case of the 1976 D Lincoln penny, a few were mistakenly struck on silver dime planchets, nickel planchets, or even foreign coin blanks made from different metals like aluminum, bronze, or steel. These striking errors are extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay big bucks for them. Police car light, known rare 1976 D error varieties, struck on a Roosevelt dime planchet, auction price $140,000 to $164,000 depending on grade. Struck on aluminum or foreign planchet, a known aluminum 1976 D error penny sold privately for over $180,000. Off-metal error on steel planchet. Each of these error types is extraordinarily valuable, especially when found in uncirculated mint state (MS) condition. Auction history and real sales. In 2021, a 1976 D Lincoln cent struck on a silver dime planchet, graded MS64 by PCGS, sold for an astonishing $140,000. A second example, struck on a foreign aluminum planchet, graded MS65, went in a private collector sale for $180,000. Another coin, barely circulated and struck on a nickel planchet, reportedly sold for $164,000 due to its rarity and demand. The takeaway? These coins are not hypothetical. They've been authenticated, graded, and sold for life-changing amounts of money. Would you ever believe that a single penny could be worth more than $200,000? That's right. A simple 1973 Lincoln penny, the kind that could be sitting in your pocket or old coin jar right now, might just make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Astonished face money bag. The Lincoln penny was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and its debut marked a revolutionary change in American coinage. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse front of the penny bears the portrait of Lincoln, a design that has remained largely unchanged for over a century. On the reverse, the original design had wheat stalks, wheat ears reverse, which lasted until 1958. From 1959 to 2008, the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, which is what you'll find on the 1973 penny. Because some of these pennies weren't just struck incorrectly, they were struck on the wrong planchet, or contained double dies, or even had proof errors, making them exceedingly rare, and incredibly valuable. The ultra-rare 1973 error pennies, what makes them so valuable? Let's break down the kinds of rare error varieties known, or rumored, for 1973 Lincoln cents. 1973 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze planchet from a foreign coin. Because these coins were never meant to exist, and only a few have been found, they've been auctioned for between $167,000 and $185,000. Off-metal error, experimental or test strikes, a known 1973 experimental piece, struck on a nickel planchet, sold for a jaw-dropping $180,000 at a private auction. 1973 Double Die Obverse, DDO, a strong DDO in mint state, MS65 or higher, can fetch $1,000 to $5,000, depending on demand and clarity of the doubling. Famous auctions and collectors who bought 1973 errors. Some notable buyers of rare 1973 Lincoln error pennies include wealthy private collectors, celebrity investors, major numismatic museums, auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers. In one high-profile auction, a bidding war between two wealthy collectors pushed the price from $80,000 to $185,000 in just under 6 minutes. The winning bidder, a Silicon Valley millionaire and lifelong coin enthusiast. Imagine holding a single penny, just one coin, that looks just like any other. One tiny copper Lincoln cent, specifically the 1969 Lincoln penny, has taken the numismatic world by storm, not because it's old, not because it's rare in number, but because of a jaw-dropping minting mistake that has collectors emptying their wallets at auctions across the globe. The Vietnam War rages on. Neil Armstrong becomes the first man to walk on the moon. Woodstock defines a generation, and in a world of coinage, something extraordinary, and accidental, is about to happen at the San Francisco Mint. This coin's mind-blowing value comes from a minting error known as a double die obverse. This means that the design elements on the front, the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust, were accidentally stamped twice by the die, slightly offset, causing a visible doubling effect. But wait, this isn't the kind of doubling you can barely see with a microscope. We're talking eye-popping, dramatic doubling you can actually see with the naked eye. As of today, if you find a genuine 1969 double die obverse penny in your collection, you're sitting on a goldmine. In 2008, a PCGS MS64 red example sold for $126,500 at Heritage Auctions. In 2021, another high-grade example went for $114,000. And depending on the color and grade, whether it's red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, the coin can fetch anywhere from $95,000 all the way up to $135,000. Brain certification, don't sell without it. Before you sell, or even brag about your coin, you need to get it authenticated. Send it to top-tier grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These institutions will confirm if it's the real deal and assign it a grade. A higher grade, like MS65 Red, could push your coin's value into six-figure territory. And a certified coin is infinitely more appealing to collectors and investors than a raw, ungraded one. Trophy auction action and collector craze. The frenzy over the 1969 double die is very real. High-profile auctions like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections have all seen bidding wars erupt over this legendary error penny. Collectors are often willing to pay a premium for eye appeal, meaning coins that have strong, vivid red color, minimal marks, and clear doubling. A visually striking coin can smash estimates and bring record-breaking prices. One collector famously said, "This coin is my Mona Lisa, it's the holy grail of modern penny errors." And it's not just American collectors. International buyers have joined the chase, making the coin a global phenomenon. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a tiny 1-cent coin minted in 1968, before you say, "Come on, it's just a penny," let me stop you. Because this isn't just any coin. This is the ultra-rare, 1968 Lincoln error penny, a coin surrounded by mystery, riddled with minting flaws, and so rare that collectors have nearly fought over it at auction. 1968 wasn't just another year in U.S. history. It was a year of turmoil, change, and critical transitions at the U.S. Mint. After several years of coin shortages and compositional changes, the Mint was stabilizing its output of Lincoln cents. But amidst this chaos, something unexpected slipped through the cracks. And today, those flawed pennies are commanding up to $107,000. What makes a 1968 error penny so valuable? High-grade DDO specimens from 1968 can fetch $30,000 to $85,000 depending on grade and mint mark. Premium 1968 off-center errors, especially with 50% plus displacement and full date, can bring $3,000 to $10,000, but combined with a double error, values skyrocket. Known examples have sold for $50,000 plus, and experts believe an SP67 or higher graded specimen could hit $107,000 or more. Coins struck without one of the clad layers or with bond malfunctions are wildly collectible. A 1968 bonded coin error, where multiple planchets stick together, was recently appraised near $80,000. Adult Microscope who found these pennies and how. Many of these mega-valuable 1968 error pennies weren't discovered by dealers. They were found by ordinary people, coin roll hunters, inherited collections, estate sale junk boxes, forgotten coin jars from grandparents. Take, for example, a man in Oregon who found what looked like a normal 1968 penny, until he noticed odd doubling in the date. PCGS later certified it as a DDO, and it sold for $62,000 at auction. Or the young collector in Texas who spotted an odd weight on his 1968 D penny. Turns out, it was struck on a foreign planchet, and he was offered $75,000 within weeks. Real auction records. Pushpin 1968, D DDO Lincoln Cent, PCGS MS66 RD, Money Mouth Phase sold for $84,000. Heritage Auctions, 2022. One of the clearest double die examples in existence. Pushpin 1968 Lincoln Cent on dime planchet, NGC MS65. Money Mouth Phase sold for $77,000, private sale, 2023. Struck on leftover dime stock, ultra rare. Pushpin 1968 broadstruck with off-center plus bonded error. Money Mouth Phase sold for $95,000, Stax Bowers, 2024. A once-in-a-generation triple error coin. Pushpin 1968, S Lincoln Cent proof on experimental blank, PR68. Money Mouth Face estimated value, $107,000. Only 2 known, highly experimental. If you want to go treasure hunting, here are some great places to start. What if I told you that a humble 1-cent coin from 1964, yes, a penny, could be worth $60,000? Or even a jaw-dropping $85,000? You heard that right, just one coin, smaller than a bottle cap, sitting in someone's pocket for decades. But this isn't just any Lincoln Cent. It's the mysterious, experimental 1964 SMS Lincoln Penny, a coin so rare, so controversial, and so cloaked in numismatic secrecy, that fewer than 20 are known to even exist today. So sit back, grab your coin jar, and hang tight. Because by the end of this video, you might just want to inspect every single 1964 penny you've ever owned. Before we dive into the ultra-rare 1964 SMS Lincoln Penny itself, let's decode the term SMS. SMS stands for Special Mint Set, a term used by the US Mint for high-quality, specially struck coins that are not quite proofs, but still far superior to regular circulation coins. So what makes a 1964 SMS penny so weird? There wasn't supposed to be an SMS set in 1964. Back in 1993, a numismatic bombshell dropped when a group of strange, satin-finished 1964 Lincoln Cents appeared on the market. These coins had unusual characteristics that didn't match regular circulation strikes or the usual proof coins from that era. So how can you tell if you have a real 1964 SMS Lincoln penny? There are 4 key characteristics to watch for. Satin finish. Unlike the glossy mirror finish of proof coins, SMS coins have a distinctive satin-like luster. They almost glow under the light. Sharp strike and details. These coins were struck using polished dies and fresh planchets. The design is razor sharp. Look at Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the Lincoln Memorial. No mint mark. Just like other Philadelphia minted coins of the era, there's no D or S mint mark on the obverse. Die markers and diagnostics. Experts have confirmed no 1964 SMS pennies show specific die polish lines, especially in the fields near Lincoln's face and in the memorial's columns. Auction records and value explosion. Here are some of the staggering auction results for 1964 SMS Lincoln pennies. Trophy $58,750. Heritage Auctions, 2016. A nearly flawless PCGS SP68 RD specimen shocked collectors by soaring past $50,000. Trophy $75,000 plus, private sale estimate. In collector circles, insiders claim a rumored high-grade piece changed hands privately for well over $75,000. Trophy $85,000, the pinnacle, a pristine, top-pop 1964 SMS penny, graded SP68 plus RD, has been estimated by experts to exceed $85,000 in future auctions, thanks to its scarcity and investor demand. Why the 1964 SMS penny is so valuable. White heavy checkmark extreme rarity, fewer than 20 exist. Some say fewer than 15. That makes it rarer than many famous gold coins. White heavy checkmark mysterious backstory, the coin wasn't supposed to exist. That kind of mystique drives collectors crazy, especially when it's tied to historical figures like mint directors. White heavy checkmark top-tier condition, most are preserved in near-perfect grades. That's unheard of for a 60-year-old penny.